Yetta, I found the problem.
What is it and how did you find it?
I looked in the mirror.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, and tactics that we all need. We all deserve. You, I, everyone. So we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we live the very best life possible. We're going to consider, as we have explored this whole month, what we've been learning. Right? In the area of growth, what we've been learning. And so what we're going to consider this time is where, yeah, I know it's one of those, right? Like who needs to grow in the relationship?
Yes.
In any relationship.
Yes.
Yes. And it's the person that's looking back at you.
When you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think many times it's a maturity thing. You know, I've talked to many couples or individuals that have broken apart from a relationship. And sometimes it takes people multiple relationships to find out that the problem is them.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to take, right? They're the common denominator, right? And we've been saying, like, who are we? Who are we being? And then the awareness starts to happen that maybe if there's a common denominator, maybe who we're being isn't working for the relationships that we're choosing to have, right? So who do we need to become? Who are we becoming is really what we've been thinking about in this lesson learned. Yeah.
Who are we becoming and why are we becoming that and who we be? And, you know, I think, you know, I think back to when we were dating. Yes, I've got an astounding memory. I can't even remember the word. I have a fantastic memory.
I love that.
It just happens to be short. But no, I have a fantastic memory. And when I look back to when we were dating and then look forward to when we had a horrible, 9 years, and then the last 30 some years have been fantastic. What's the common denominator is me. When was I thinking about you? And when was I thinking about myself? And when people first get together, when they date, we call it the honeymoon stage, right? Yeah. We're still in our honeymoon stage.
We are back in our honeymoon stage.
That's true. We're back in. But your honeymoon stage is when, the other person can't do anything wrong. And you, I hate this word, but worship the ground they stand on kind of thing. It's a time where you think about the other person and what you can do for them almost constantly, right?
Yeah, I remember that season. And I'm doing it again.
You are? Nice. I'm just kidding.
That was not pleasant.
Yes. So, and what happens is once, and I think for guys this happens, once you attain the prize, once I got the ring on your finger and we were married, then I stopped being who I was being when we were first together, right? And that's not to say people don't need to grow as they grow.
Well, because that's what this whole month is about, is the lessons learned and how we have grown as a result of evaluating the experiences.
And then, so where this is all going is we did a devotional the other day. And that's another issue I have, is I say I more frequently than I should say we. We did a devotional the other day. And it was one we did 27 years ago, right? And the page that we were working on was a love page. And it was about how do you show love, and that love's not really, it's an activity, right? As
well as an emotion, right? Like we tend to get caught up in today's current trend and culture that it is all about a warm emotional feelings of love, which it is as well.
But they only occur when someone's acting loving towards you.
They tend,
or you choose to act loving towards them.
Exactly. So say that piece again.
You can choose to act loving towards somebody. Then the loving feelings come.
Right. Or, yeah, you act toward them or they act toward you. Actually, both generate loving feelings. Hence why we're saying look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because if there's no loving feeling, I suspect that you're also not acting loving.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think it happens with kids too. You know, like you go through a season where you're caring for them and they don't care that much for you. That's not true. They love you, but they are taking all and you're giving all to them, right?
Generally, more so.
They're not doing things for you when they're little.
Right.
Right? You have to clean poopy diapers and whatever. So, or I think of it with dogs as well. Like you get a dog, the dog chews your furniture, chews your trim,
shoes,
and you know, has accidents and whatever, and you clean up. And the more you care for that dog, the more you love that dog. It's really interesting.
So what was about the devotional in 27 years ago versus this year?
Thanks for bringing me back around.
Because you digress.
Yeah. Well, the devotional had, I think it was around 16 questions around how you were acting based on the love verses. And then we had marked them 27 years ago with an X if we were failing at it miserably, an X with a bit of a check mark if we were doing and then a check mark if we were doing great. So we redid the assessment, right? And how we turn out?
Much, much, much better.
Even better. And you actually said we must have rated ourselves softly back then because you don't think we were acting that loving.
No.
But the point is, as we act more loving, we get the feeling of love. That's really what it is.
And so we can't bring someone else where we want them to go. We first get to act it out.
Yes.
And so if you're thinking you want to stay connected with this crazy duo that goes all over the place, then send us an email at together@dekkerteam.com so we can stay connected through this coming year, through the coming decades, because we're still going to be here connecting with you.
Yeah. And I think the reason I like this topic is like buying real estate, investing in real estate is quite often it's a couple's decision, right? And many times when we're talking investing in real estate, there'll be one of the spouses that has a higher propensity for risk, a higher propensity for investment. They like the idea, and the other one may not.
Right.
How do we work that out?
Well, we really work it out by creating conversations around them, training, teaching, coaching, and not pushing and prodding and forcing the issue, right? Not really forcing anything to happen, but let time and the experiences start to shift.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right, because it's usually fear or the unknown that causes one not wanting to do something and the other wanting to do something. And so it takes that training, and it's a matter of looking in the mirror like I did, right? You know, when you point a finger, right? You got three pointing right back at you. So taking that self-responsibility for your growth, I think, is hugely important. So my question is, where is an area in your life that would be a good place to grow? We're honored to be positioning you to build wealth wisely in real estate because it's about much more than just the money.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward.